What's up, keto peeps? Okay, so to start off with this recipe, first off, you need to have, okay, well, let me just start off by saying this normally has the 3 6-inch round baking pans, but I didn't have those, so I'm just doing 2 of the 9-inch pans. So hopefully it'll turn out okay. I don't know, we'll see. So anyway, she has, for the very beginning, a 1/2 cup of sliced almonds that we're gonna use for the decoration at the end, but I'm doing more of like a cup considering that's gonna be a wider area. So anyway, you wanna toast those in the oven at 350 for about 4 minutes. She does say that they will scorch pretty quick. So I tell you, as soon as I started smelling like the sweetness and fragrance of it, I immediately looked and they were perfect. So just to show you, I mean, yummy. I even had a little slice or 2 and it was fantastic. So there's that. And then also, I will tell you, you need 4 egg whites and 4 yolks for different things. So it's good enough, you're using only 4 eggs. I still used 8, and I'll tell you why. When I went to separating them, normally I split them on here and then I separate them in the shells, you know. But I know if you get any form of like yolk in here, then you won't get any sort of stiff peaks in the egg whites. So I was very careful, but then I added some extra egg whites to the yolks. So I was like, I don't know if I want to do that. So I threw out those yolks and did 4 more eggs, and I did the finger method, you know, where you crack them and put them in there and the egg whites ooze and the yolk. Okay, y'all know I don't like that because it's just, oh, but anyway. So just note to that, you're going to use 4 whole eggs, separate them, and you're going to use each for different things. So we have 4 egg whites in here, and then 2/3 of a cup of powdered swerve. You can use any sort. If you have just regular granulated erythritol or any sort of granulated thing, just put it in a coffee grinder, grind it up. You should be just fine with that. But anyway, 2/3 of a cup of powdered swerve. And then she also says to use a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla or almond extract. Now I know that we're going to be using vanilla already with something else, and so, but I still want to use just a tad slight bit of it because I don't trust that I don't have any sort of taste in there, or you know what I mean. So I'm going to add a little bit of vanilla just in case, but I do have some almond extract here and I definitely want to use that. Okay, so use one or the other. I'm just testing it with a little bit of both just because I'm weird. And when I also say I got this recipe from a Facebook group of just keto recipes, but at the very bottom it said this was adapted by Bake Citations or something. So just note on that. I don't know who it is, what it is, or if it's a blog or whatever, but I want to give note on that. And so what I'm going to do here is it says to beat on high speed until you get stiff peaks. So I'm going to do that and come on back. Couple things. One, if you recall in my last video, or 2 or 3, I hate this stupid thing, but I don't know how to edit a little bit, so you're just gonna have to see me doing this until I stop, until it actually stops for me. Sorry if that annoys y'all, because it annoys me. But okay, so she didn't happen to mention, whoever it was, that to beat these into stiff peaks, it takes a good like 5 minutes or 6 minutes. I will tell you, if it doesn't have the consistency of like a meringue or something, I guess that's the name, then you probably had a little bit of egg yolk in there. You're gonna have to start all over from scratch. But anyway, we have the stiff peaks here where if you raise it, they stick. Well, anyway, I had one down here. It's almost lunchtime for the animal, or dinner time for the animals, and they're all around me. Although I did manage to put Lily away. Okay, so now what we're gonna do here, oh, well, let me just go ahead and get coordinated. What she says to do is to, oh goodness, I didn't want this to be a long, huge video. Just do this really quick. All right, good enough, good enough. That's gonna annoy me, but okay, whatever. Okay, now she says to gently fold in the almond flour. So, and you need to use a rubber spatula. Probably should not put all that in, but whatever. So we're just gonna fold it. This is what folding is, and we're just gonna fold it until it's gently incorporated. So I'm gonna do that, and then I will come right back. Let's see how many times this one is. Not that one or that one. Okay guys, here's my concern. First off, it was 1.5 cups of almond flour that I put in there. And I folded it, incorporated it correctly. And she also had you put this baking liner sheet of parchment paper in your pans. But I'll tell you what, if this isn't like a thin layer of pizza crust, it didn't even go all the way to the ends. It's not liquidy, it's quite thin. So this might end up being a fail video. Not so much because I failed, but I did everything right. So we will see. Maybe it's just the fact that you have to use the smaller baking pans. Anyway, I'm gonna give this a go and we'll see how it goes. We're supposed to put it in the oven for at 350 for 20 to 25 minutes. Let's see. Okay guys, we will see how the cooking turns out. But anyway, in here on low heat, I've got 4 egg yolks and 1/3 of a cup of granulated swerve. Okay, first off, I had just started the video on this, and it looks like I had 1/2 cup, not 1/3 of a cup. So it's just gonna be one of those days. So it just says to, by the way, Lily is having a cow in there. Okay. So it just says heat this until, lost my train of thought. Let me see here. When mix starts to bubble and thicken, that's when we're going to whisk in the heavy whipping cream. So I will come right back. Okay, hello again. Let me just tell you that it was 1/2 cup, not 1/3 of a cup. It was 1/3 of a cup for the heavy whipping cream. So anyway, so it took a few minutes for it to be bubbling up, and I stirred it, and it was certainly thickening up. So I went ahead and I put the heavy whipping cream in there. I also did check at the 15-minute mark, and it looks more like big, thick fajitas. So because they're so thin, I'm probably just gonna end up taking them out in like a minute or two. Anyway, so I'm gonna continue because it says to stir this constantly until it's hot, and the mixture should coat a spoon, and it actually does. It should coat the back of a spoon rather. And then we're just gonna turn it off. And then we're gonna remove from heat and let it cool in the fridge and stuff, because you want it room temperature. And then we're gonna come back and add some more to it. Hey guys. All right, look. I have a glass of wine. It's been one of those days. I don't care. Okay, so the cake, much like I imagine, looks like a pizza crust. Look at this. It's like, what is this? So clearly the 3 6-inch pans are required. I wish they would have put that in there, because you know how some cakes, they're like, okay, put it in the rectangle things, circle things, whatever. So I think what I'm gonna do to try to salvage this is to cut it in half, both of them in half, and layer it into 4s. Okay, the taste is there, smells phenomenal. I haven't tasted it yet, but just letting you know that. And then also, this cooled for about 15 minutes in the fridge. And I have in here, what was it? 3/4 of a cup of softened butter. And then she also, so it's 3/4 of a cup of softened butter, and then this that we're gonna add to it, and then whatever flavorings you want. She added 1 teaspoon of vanilla, so I added that, and then 5 drops of English toffee stevia. You don't have to do this. I didn't even see that until after I started making this. So fortunately, I have some English toffee. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Smells good. But because I'm a coconut fan, I'm just gonna put in like 1, 2, okay, 3 drops of coconut. Not that that really matters. Okay. And now what I'm gonna do, I don't know what else I'm gonna mess up. So, let me make sure here on my little fancy sheet that I had to write up. It's an electric mixer. You beat it up till light and fluffy. So I'm gonna add this to this and beat it up till light and fluffy. Let's see how far my line goes down for this one, shall we? Okay, let's see how our button works. And it doesn't at all. Hey friends, let's continue on with this recipe, shall we? First off, this icing was just awful. It was so eggy, it was disgusting. I poured in, I kid you not, 3/4 of the package of powdered swerve. Still not that good. I even poured in a little bit of vanilla. It's awful. But why don't we just continue the rest of this anyway? Okay, funny enough, you know I was talking about pizza crust? How I was gonna cut this up into 4s and make it a half a cake? Just cut it with a pizza cutter. Worked great. All I'm gonna do is take this pretty gross icing and add it onto every layer here. And then put it on the back layer and add the raspberries and almonds and see where that goes. I'll come right back. All right, my power just went out. Literally as I was opening up the fridge. Anyway, I'm just kidding about this. Okay, so look, here's the deal. Sorry without the lights, but I have to get this in editing and stuff. Here's what it looks like, but I guarantee you it's not gonna be good. I'm sure it is good, and I just didn't do it right, but let me just see. All right, here's the thing. It's very doable. Actually, if you remove that whatever frosting I think that is, and put in Keto Connect's buttercream frosting, it'll be really good. Just use the 6-inch pans. Why are my lights out? Anyway, I hope you did enjoy this video. It was kind of fun to make because after a while I was just like, I'm just gonna see what happens. It's actually not really bad at all. I mean, it just needs the buttercream frosting from Keto Connect, which I will put down below, I think, if I remember to do that. Anyway, that's all the time I have. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to see more. I'll see you guys next time.